Before we get out of here, I got to give my opinion on something. Major League Baseball announced that they are implementing the ABS, the automatic ball and strike system, for the 2026 season. They experimented with it in spring training this year. They utilized it in the All-Star game this season. Edwin Diaz used it in the All-Star game this season. And we spoke about it during our spring training coverage. And basically, how the ABS system works, folks, if a pitch is thrown and either the pitcher, the catcher, or the batter think that a strike was called a ball or a ball was called a strike, they can challenge it. If they win the challenge, they retain. And obviously, it's reversed. And back in February, when they said they were going to utilize this in spring training, I was against it. But now, after having time to think about things and see how this season has played out, I'm all for the ABS system. And let me tell you why. There have been many games that have been affected by bad calls this season, too many to name certain instances. And there have been some games where the game has ended where a strike was called when it should have been a ball, batter didn't swing. Especially when you have situations, and it's happened to the Mets several times. Happened last Saturday against the Nationals. Juan Soto didn't swing, and that pitch looked like a ball, and it was called a strike. Game over. I understand that human error is part of the game. We see it in every sport. In the NBA, how many times do you hear that the officials missed a call, whether it's a foul, a travel, out of bounds, and the NBA will come out the next morning after the game's taken place and say that a foul should have been called after, or a travel did occur. In the NFL, sometimes there's a hold or a pass interference should have been called and there's no flag. In MLB, there are strikes that get called balls and balls that get called strikes, and a lot of those missed calls are very egregious. Now, managers cannot, and nobody in the dugout, anybody on the field other than the pitcher and catcher cannot challenge. Batter cannot challenge. Some people say this undermines the umpires, but these umpires need to be undermined from time to time because you got guys who are notorious like C.B. Buckner, Angel Hernandez, and I hate to pick on a woman here, but Jen Powell, I don't know what strike zone she's established or what she's looking at, but I know she just got called up a couple months back, but she has an egregious strike zone. So I do believe that it's in the best fairness of the game to have the robo umps. Again, it's not completely taking away the human element because on the base paths, we can still get safe calls that should have been outs and vice versa. But I do like the fact that everything is challengeable. Games should not be decided due to egregious calls or due to an umpire having the smallest strike zone or the largest strike zone in the world. So a lot less contention between players and officials are going to take place. We've seen Jeff McNeil several times this season yell violently at umpires when he didn't swing and took a pitch and he thought it was a ball. The whole stadium thought it was a ball, and they got called strike 3, and he's been tossed for yelling. And then Mendy's got to come out and defend him, and he gets tossed. So a lot of ejections are no longer going to take place. It's better for the game overall. And again, especially in a series, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Mets fan and I'm looking at this very impartially. But I would hate for one of these Mets-Marlins games this weekend that's going to decide this if the Mets continue past this weekend to be called on a bad strike 3 or a bad ball 4. And it screws a team out of playoff contention. I don't wish it on the Reds or the Brewers either, or any other team for that matter. So go ahead. I mean, if umpiring wasn't this egregious, as it's been this season, my tune wouldn't have changed from spring training. But with what I've seen this season, we definitely need the ABS. And if it wasn't a problem, and now granted, Rob Manfred has done a lot of boneheaded things when it comes to rule changes lately. DH in the National League, extra runner on second base to start extra innings, the ghost runner rule. So he's done a lot of boneheaded things to affect the game. But this, I'm going to go ahead and agree because, again, we got to get these calls right. Wins and losses matter, especially they always matter from late March all the way to the end of September. But this is when they really matter, and I think MLB's got it right this go-around. Can't have important games or any game that counts in the regular season called because of a bad strike zone, and it's crazy to me because the amount of training these umpires go through and the minor league grind they have to go through, you would think they would get it right. In order to become a major league umpire, you have to go through several umpire camps. You can look it up; it's public knowledge. And with all the training and all the on-the-job training and all the teaching and preparation they do, and they still can't get it right, no, you deserve to be undermined. And I'm all for it.